Modern Warfare 4's early access beta has come to a close. And honestly, I think I can say I'm very impressed with how it went so far. Of course, there is still another weekend that we have to get through. Probably about a week from this going up. Maybe a little bit less. But I am excited to play the open beta as well. I can't wait to actually get into it and see if they add anything else, what they might end up doing. But I think that I'm going to be just as happy with Weekend 2. That being said, there were things that, of course, I want to talk about, as per usual with these games, and go through some pros, some cons, maybe some things I might want to see changed. But without further ado, let's get into it. I think it's only fair to start off with the pros of the game, kind of give it a good head start as far as being a good beta, potentially a very good Call of Duty game, which I can foresee happening personally. So the first thing that I actually kind of like about it is their time to kill in this game. I don't feel like it's too long. It's definitely not too quick. And they actually reward you for being better, we'll say, because they do have a very good limb damage system that was pretty easy to pick up on during the beta itself. I definitely noticed quite a few times where I was shooting people in the legs from distances or whatever, and it just didn't seem like it was really doing anything to them, which I'm okay with. I have no problem with having varying levels of damage based on where you're hitting somebody on the body. I think it makes a lot more sense than just hitting somebody in the chest and doing 20 damage and hitting somebody in the foot and doing 20 damage. I'd much rather see that damage get brought down. So all things considered, I don't really think TTK needs to be touched. There was some issues where they had already put out hot fixes with the one SMG in the game, the ISO, which is, of course, a returning gun because people loved it. I don't really see the appeal, but that's besides the point. Where they did lower the damage by like 0.4, so it really didn't make it much of a difference. I think it bumped it up from like a 5-shot kill to a 6, and that's if you don't hit any headshots, because if you still hit headshots, you can get it in like 5 bullets regardless. But that does incentivize people to actually play the game a bit more smart, we'll say. Not really just running around spraying everything, but at least trying to place shots where they're most effective. I think the next pro I'm going to have to give this game is the movement system. Now, of course, every Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2019 has essentially been pretty much along the same lines as far as the movement system goes. You have sliding, we can jump and climb walls higher than we could ever do before in the older games, which, I mean, in the beginning, I didn't much care for it, and then as games went on and we got like Black Ops 6 and Cold War and then Black Ops 7, I started getting kind of like tired of the new gimmicks. Omni movement was cool, but wall jumping in Black Ops 7 was really like the only thing that they had that was interesting. And I don't know. I mean, if you're a returning viewer of the channel, you know my thoughts on Black Ops 7. That game is terrible. I hate it. It's the worst thing that has ever come out of any Activision publishing event ever. So I'm okay with that not really being part of my list of games I've played. Regardless, the movement in this game feels almost on par with Modern Warfare 2019, which I am in love with. Modern Warfare 2019 and then Modern Warfare 2 kind of had like the perfect movement system for these newer engine styles in these games. Modern Warfare 2019's was quick enough that it felt faster paced than the old games, which was true, but also not overdoing it. I think this game is right on the line of that, maybe a little bit higher. Sliding's not too quick. Diving is really fun. I'm so glad that they still have diving again. They kept the Sublime prone, which is also a really fun detail. I love being able to do that just because it looks hilarious whenever you spin in a circle, dive, and kill somebody. But yeah, I think movement just has to take the second spot for me on a list of pros. It's just, this game feels perfect. I'm not having any trouble keeping up with anybody like I was in some of the later games leading up to this one. I think next up I'm going to have to say Gunplay, which might sound a little bit odd to put on a pros list because I'm sure people could make the argument that Gunplay is exactly the same in every game since 2019. And I would give you your credit where credit is due. You probably are right. It's so just like cut and dry with the way that guns really like play in these games now. I mean, you have your tac sprints and then you use your attachments to get your sprint to fire speed back up, and then bam, there you go. There's your gunplay. But with these slowed down movement that they have in this one, I think that they really kind of like balanced out the gunplay in general based on playstyles. Because on one hand, you can make a build where you're able to run around as fast as you possibly can, while still being able to pull your gun up quick enough to actually kill that guy who surprised you around the corner. Or if you're somebody who likes to just sit up and lay down the hate over an area, you can do that and then not necessarily be punished by having your lower movement speed attachments on, because people are slow enough that you can still get them. Which I guess kind of ties into the movement system too. These things really go hand in hand now that I'm doing the voiceover for it. But I do like the way the guns feel in this game. There wasn't a single gun that I can think of where I was using it and thought, man, this gun feels terrible to run around with right now. Maybe the LMG on screen that you're seeing. I tried running around with it. I got a pretty good movement build for it that wasn't too sweaty, but also able to actually kill things. And towards the end of getting that gun maxed out, it was kind of irritating, to say the least. But yeah, I really liked how the guns feel in this game. I can't wait to see more guns as the game comes out, or if we get any more in the open beta, which would be awesome. Got one more thing for my list of pros, which was something I actually encountered a little bit in streaming the game on day one of early access. So if you missed out on that one, be sure to go follow the Twitch. Link will be in the description, because I like to do new games or betas I can get my hands on so that I have kind of like a fresh idea of it. So if you'd like to see something like that where you get to kind of see how I feel about a game in real time, definitely follow me over there. But this is going to have to be optimization. So in the beginning of my stream, I thought the game was poorly optimized because of some stuttering issues I was having in the game itself. My hit reg seemed like it was off. I was shooting people and they were dying like a second and a half, 2 seconds later. It just felt really weird. I wasn't getting any packet bursts or anything. I had great ping to the servers, to the game. It was almost like it was frame lag. Well, I ended up finding out that I just had a bad internet connection in general, because even off stream I was still having some issues. But I plugged in my setup to an Ethernet cable and now everything is running perfect. So this game, I cannot believe how optimized it is for a beta. And I hope it stays the same way whenever it comes to the real game coming out in October, because when I say I had 0 issues, I mean not a single hiccup after putting myself in with a hardwired connection. I thought for sure I was going to have issues again trying to restream it the next day. Nope. Everything ran smooth. I couldn't believe how perfect it was going. I hope that this game stays exactly like that whenever it comes to the full release, because if it doesn't, what the fuck are you doing, Infinity Ward? Because you had it right the first time. But I think that this game is very well put together. I do run kind of a pretty high-end PC. I mean, I have a 4080 Super. I have a 9750 X3D. So it's not like I'm running something super low end. But I didn't hear about any issues with the game. So thumbs up. And that's going to have to do it for the pros list. And of course, with every pros list, there must come an equal cons list, which thankfully doesn't actually have really anything to do with playing the game. It's with what comes before and after, with one exception that I'll get into. But starting off our cons list, the first thing that I noticed on day one was there was no map vote or even map and mode at all when you were in the pregame lobby. Now, of course, some people, have you made it this far, will probably think, but there is a map vote and map mode now. Why are you talking about that? Because even though they added map voting for playlists like Search and Destroy playlist, the Transit 24/7 playlist, the Quick Play filter, which that one definitely didn't exist day one. In the open mosh pit, you still cannot map vote, which I basically exclusively played the open mosh pit. Why, out of all the things, would you not allow map voting for like the most popular playlist in the beta? I think that that was a con. I really hope that that's not in the full game. If they make it so that the open mosh pit playlist does not have map and mode voting, what the hell's the point? The only reason I could see for them doing this is to try and push people out of the open matchmaking, which isn't even actually open anyway. We all know that. There's still skill-based matchmaking in it because they claim people want it when they don't. Into the playlists that have skill-based matchmaking, thinking that we will give up on this fight wanting for no SBMM like we used to get. And then they claim to say that there was always SBMM, which, let's be real, even if there was, it wasn't doing jack shit. So, first con, no voting in the open mosh pit. We'll leave it down to that one. I'm not going to say no voting at all, because there is voting now. But no voting in the open mosh pit, which they better fix that. If not for the open beta, for the full game. The second con on my wonderful list is probably the load times. And I don't mean getting into a lobby, because surprisingly enough, it was actually very quick, at least with the open mosh pit. I didn't pay much attention to the other ones, but I don't remember really waiting around very long. When I say load times, I mean the time it takes from the moment you get a full lobby to the moment you get into a game. They were so varied. It really didn't make any sense. 9 times out of 10, whenever you got a quick load time, it was because you were getting backfilled into a lobby, which, whatever, that's fine. I don't really care about joining lobbies that I'm getting absolutely stomped in, because mainly I'm there to just kill people and level up my gun. And I know I'm going to be able to do that regardless. But whenever it came to getting into a lobby that was in a pregame lobby, not a match in progress, it would take somewhere between like a minute to a minute and a half sometimes just to load into the level. And then you wouldn't even know what you were loading into because of the other point that I made, no map and mode voting. But when it came to actually getting into that first lobby with or that first game with a fresh lobby, for some odd reason, it just felt like it took forever, even though it was like done loading the level, all the players were connected, like it wasn't waiting for anything, it was just kind of sitting there. So I'm not sure what exactly they need to do about that part of the actual lobby itself, but whatever it is, I would like it to be done before the open beta. It's gonna be like a broken record, you know, do this for the open beta, or if not, then do it for the full game. But that's unfortunately the reality of it. If they don't do it for the next beta and get it figured out, then they better have it figured out for the actual game. It's just that simple. A second part to that is the timing between games. I can't say for certain that I know for a fact it was because I was getting backfilled, which wouldn't make any sense because the beta had non-disbanding lobbies, which little mini pro in the cons, non-disbanding lobbies are great because if you get a good lobby and they stick together, you're down for like 30 minutes at least of just fun. But anyway, the timing in between games, that being from when your game finished to the next one starting, seemed really, really short sometimes. I can't say that I necessarily noticed it much after having unlocked everything and kind of had like my classes figured out. I mean, towards the end of the beta, I was kind of just maxing out every gun because I felt like it, which I actually did, surprisingly, with how many levels there are and you just getting literally nothing for it. I just wanted to play the game. Literally for the love of the game. But there was at least 3 or 4 times where I, earlier on, as I was still leveling up my actual account level, I could just notice that I would load out of a lobby, go to create my class or update my class, and then it would just put me in before I could even get anywhere with it. I have no clue what that's about because the only times I can remember they were fresh games. I wasn't getting backfilled or anything like that. It wasn't like our entire lobby got backfilled with one guy who was just left alone in a lobby on his own. I just have no clue. But I would like to assume that that's something that would have been brought up because how is somebody not going to be upset about a game just forcing them into it before they could even do anything? Luckily, you can change your classes mid-game, which is nice, but if you take too long, then you get kicked, so there's a downside. Regardless of that, not really anything else with times. Everything else seemed really good. Finding lobbies was great. Getting into those lobbies was actually fantastic. It was just some of the things around those lobbies needed some work. At the beginning of my cons list, I said there would be one exception of a gameplay con. That is footsteps. Footsteps in this game are far, far, far too loud from a third-person standpoint. When it comes to me hearing my own footsteps, it's like they're not even there. Very, very quiet, which I don't mind. I don't really want to hear just the bass of my boots hitting the tarmac as I'm running around on the map, because that's going to get annoying. But on the opposite hand of it, people can hear your footsteps way too well. Myself included. I can think of quite a few times where being able to hear an enemy's footsteps has saved me a streak or gotten me that extra kill that I might have needed for a level, who knows. But I can also count just as many times where it's really screwed me over. And if you're like anything like me, you will have to use quick fix, which I know a lot of people do, especially in the beta, because you couldn't get stim shots, and screw stim shots. Stims are kind of annoying. But at the same time, it is just another quick fix. So I can't really be that upset about it. But the footsteps are so loud that they've really just made it harder for me to be able to sneak up on people. Especially like if they have no UAVs up, I'm trying to get knife kills, who knows what, or sneak around and search, whatever. And people could just hear where I'm coming like halfway across the map. Way too loud. And I won't run ninja because I want to run quick fix. I'd rather be able to win my gunfight and come out of it being able to actually take another gunfight than being able to run around silent. So either move ninja or quick fix in the perk slots, or tone down the footstep audio for third person hearing, because by God, it is so loud. Way too loud. I just would sit and listen to kill cams, and I'm like, how did this guy even know I was coming up behind him? And he would be fighting somebody else, that teammate would either die or run away, and then a solid 3 to 5 seconds before I could even get to a spot where I could see him, he could hear my footsteps the entire time. Really annoying. Very, very annoying. So, albeit long-winded, those are pretty much my key points that I took away from this beta. realistically, not that bad. Somewhat scary, little bit on par with my thoughts on the Black Ops 7 beta, because I actually really enjoyed the Black Ops 7 beta. But with this one, it's to a whole nother level. I mean, between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I had already logged over 36 hours. And then at the end of Monday, which is when I'm doing this voiceover, I'm definitely over 40, probably closer to like 42. So much more time than I put into Black Ops 7 by far. And then that comes down to the final question. Do I really think the game is worth it? As of right now, absolutely. I will 100% be buying this game. I will 100% be doing camo grinds for this game, at the very least in multiplayer. I don't think I'll be doing Warzone or anything like that because I can't be fucked, to be honest with you. But the actual camo grind for the multiplayer, I can't wait for. I think it's going to be so much fun. I'm stoked to get all these camos. I can't wait to see what kind of challenges they are, what new guns they're going to come out with, all the different maps. I think it's going to be a blast. So, if you would look for validation on whether or not you should or should not buy this game and care about my opinion, I would say if you enjoyed Modern Warfare 2019, and I'd even go so far as to say if you like Modern Warfare 2, the new one, not 2009, obviously, then I don't think you would be wasting your money on this game. It feels a lot like what the new Call of Duty engine felt like at its core. And I think that's why I've enjoyed it so much and why so many other people have been on it like crazy during this early access beta. And I'm sure there's going to be tons more on the open beta as well. So, personally, I don't think it's a bad decision. If you're a Call of Duty fan and you liked those earlier of the new generation games, I think it's well worth it. But that being said, I think I'm just going to end it off there. I hope you enjoyed my video. Like I said earlier on, I have that Twitch. If you want to come and see me play some of these games early before the videos come out, definitely go give me a follow over there. And I hope to see you all in the next one.